The Oxley Highway from Wauchope to Walcha, New South Wales, is considered to be one of the best motorbike rides in New South Wales. The appeal is the long stretch with seemingly never-ending sharp bends through the hills, which transitions into flat country with high-speed limit straight sections before arriving at Walcha. The road surface is good all the way, and the scenery is scenic. The plan was to leave Sydney on Friday night, but the 5-hour freeway trip from Sydney in the dark was not appealing, so a trailer was hired as a better option to carry the bikes, and by splitting the cost 4 ways, it was quite economical. It took some time to get the bikes all loaded and tied down securely, but eventually it was done and they didn't move for the whole trip. After 3 hours into the trip, a stop for dinner at the Cherry Pie Cafe at Caloongalloch provided a good break and an opportunity to fuel the bikes, so there'd be an early start to the ride next day. Overnight on Friday and Saturday night was at the Wauchope Motel in the main street, which is the Oxley Highway. Wauchope is a nice enough town on the Hastings River, although it has more of a suburban feel rather than a country town. The best place for dinner we found for Saturday night was the RSL, although the bistro closes at 8 p.m. An early night suited us. The ride to Walcha and Wauchope and back was a bit tiring. The main tourist attraction in Wauchope is Timbertown, which displays the history of the late 18th and early 19th century Australian history. An early departure from Wauchope was delayed by the need to carry out an adjustment to the front pivot bearing on one of the bikes, a new Royal Enfield Classic. I have done a separate video on that for anyone who wants to see how it was done. This video does not include much footage of the actual trip, partly because there are already a heap of good videos showing that, but also because the 360 camera I intended to use broke off its mount and was lost on the trip out of Sydney. An hour and a quarter and 82 kilometres out of Wauchope is Ginger's Creek Roadhouse, an essential place to stop for a break halfway through the windy bits of the trip. It features a relaxing bushland outlook from the veranda. After the windy bits, there are long stretches of straight road with 110 km speed limits. Another short break, 23 kilometres short of Walcha, at a rest area to admire the piles of rocks. and just before Walcha, a 1 kilometre diversion off the highway to marble at the Apsley Falls, 2 waterfalls on the Apsley River. The first fall dropped 65 metres and the second 58 metres. John Oxley passed the falls in 1818 and was mightily impressed. In 1902, 3 men built a wooden staircase from the top to the bottom, but it was demolished in 2020. Arrival in Walcha in time for lunch. The Walcha area is known for sheep and cattle grazing as well as timber getting. With a population of only about 1,500 people, Walcha to me has the look and feel of what a small New South Wales town should be, with streets wide enough to turn your bullock wagon around. Another essential stop is the Walcha Royal Cafe for lunch, an establishment which is motorcycle friendly and has some quirky decorations. Next door to the cafe is the petrol station to fill the bikes for the return trip. And so the next morning the bikes are loaded back on the trailer ready for the long drive back to Sydney. All agree this was a successful trip and a worthwhile experience. Any questions, comments, corrections? I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.